That Taurus. Oof, that Taurus reading from Odinson. Cancer full moon. I had to. Anyway, I don't know what this is gonna be as per most of the time. But there is, I thought the full moon happened at like 5 a.m. Turns out it happened at like 5 p.m. according to the app I use, which was only like less than 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. That opposition, I guess, went exact. And then at like 2 something a.m., the node moves into Taurus. The Six of Cups. This is interesting. Because somebody pulled cards. Hey, Holly, how you doing? Somebody pulled cards for me recently. I think I know. I'm pretty sure I do. And there were a lot of like castles in the back or things in the background. And then in the Six of Cups card, there's like this tower. It's a spire. On my trip this summer, I took pictures of a bunch of steeples. And it's like not colored in yet. Hello, Dottie. Dottie Riddle. Yes. So I got the Diaxology cards, and I'm just gonna. Oh, 1 second. Hold up. I'm gonna turn this down first. I don't need my computer to be in sport mode. I'm not playing any games. Excuse me. Let's go to comfort mode. There we go. Watching a special on box turtles. Ooh. I like turtles. The Empress is at the bottom of the deck, which is the box art. No, it's not. LOL. I lied. Sorry. It was unintentional. But anyway, I don't know. I'll just pull a few of these. I already got one, the Queen of Diamonds. And a few of the Lion Strider minis, and we'll just see what's up. I don't know if it's going to be about the full moon or the change of the nodes or whatever. Excuse me. So the Three of Hearts fell out face down. The Queen of Diamonds is upright. That's a 4 and then a 3. Bottom of the deck is the 5 of Clubs. Who is this? Hold up. I got a card that's... The 7 of Diamonds was flipped over, but I could have just forgotten to flip it back over before I started shuffling. Let's see. So, the Queen of Diamonds is an abrupt change of season. The vision catching up to fantasy, the filling of valleys and the falling of mountains. And I feel like that card came out recently. Actually, quite a bit. You've been into reptile habitats. Excuse me. Maybe you're going to get a pet snake. Just keep it away from the bunnies. The Three of Hearts is where form and function align, the power of words to brighten and terraform. But that one, it was upside down. This one is all 5s, 3s, and 2s. 55, 3, 5, 2, 5, 2 on the Three of Hearts. So that's a Cindy 20 of 5s, a 4 of 2s, and a 3. And then the bottom of the deck, the day of longest light or night, a garment for all occasions, and filling a gap. That's interesting, because filling a gap is the last message on the 5 of Clubs, and the last message on the Queen of Diamonds is the filling of valleys and the falling of mountains. So, retrograde, no! Oof, which one? Venus. I meant to say Mercury, but Venus is the one that I immediately went to. I have a friend who like loves snakes. She had like a pet snake. I'm like, girl. I had another friend in high school who had a pet piranha. They had a piranha in a tank. I had to go over his house for a project one time, and it was bigger. It was like a pretty big fish. I was like, what? Who keeps piranhas? Today is Betty White's 100th birthday. Oh. Um, I think I saw something about that yesterday. She was so close. An abrupt change of season. What's the abrupt change of season about? We'll see. Where form and function align. That's actually interesting. An abrupt change of season with where form and function align. But with the three of hearts in reverse, when it came out in reverse, it feels for some reason that words are going to fall flat in the changing season. Like it feels like the energy of the alignment is still there. But things may be aligning in ways that we wouldn't necessarily immediately comprehend or understand. Mercury rules Virgos. So that makes sense. I think my two planets are like Jupiter and Neptune. So they're like further out. Mercury is like the closest planet to the sun, second or third, I don't know, closest to Earth. So, oof. And it happens like what, 3 to 4 times a year. Oof. But it's not that long when it happens. Relatively shorter. Am I gonna be able to get a card or like no? Maybe not. The day of longest light or night is solstice energy. But I mean, we're gonna be coming upon the equinox next. Because the solstice just happened last month. About a month ago, right? December 20 something. Long enough. The Knight of Wands. Oof. Slid on top of the Three of Hearts. Rob, hello. That Taurus reading. Ooh. It's fine. 12, 21, 21. Okay. So yeah, we did just have that one. The Knight of Wands with the Five of Wands. The Knight of Wands is like riding away from the Five of Wands. So that makes it feels like a situation it's like where there would have been no victory. Like it's one of those things where like to play the game is to lose the game. It's like the only way to win is to walk away. And maybe that's why the word is falling flat. It's almost like talking to somebody who's solely interested in like arguing. So it doesn't matter like what you say. Like they want to argue. They want an argument. It doesn't matter how much sense you make or don't make. For them, it's like the thing doesn't even really matter. And the Knight of Wands is like, it feels like there's a certain. Did somebody read that? I feel like they were designed that way. I mean, it was like, what aren't you seeing, right? With the picture of Stevie Wonder. Ooh, the Knight of Cups is behind the Five of Wands. Excuse me. I don't have any more water. But it's like the Knight of Wands, it desires peace now. Or maybe it's just that, like, there's another situation where it's like, oh, I was thinking about that before I started this. It's a question of like what the Knight of Wands is willing to tolerate to get what it is that it desires. And it feels like there's something that it's just like not worth it. This is very much not worth it energy. And so it moves on. And that might be the abrupt change. It's like all of a sudden something's pulled out of a situation. So it's not what it used to be. The energy is different. It's not the same. And again, it's an energy. It's like it feels like it's still aligned. It might just be aligned to something different. And maybe that's the feeling of valleys and falling of mountains. It's like non extremized. Because again, it's like it pulls out. Where is Knight of Wands heading? I'll take this. These two. Oop, well, this one. The other one fell. Embodying hope, a fount of truth, a tongue of light, the two of clubs. And taking the plunge into an ice cold tank, dissolution of the self, integration and separation, the seven of swords. It feels like they're like a favorable turn of fortune, a powerful message duly received, seven of hearts. It's almost like realizing that the more time, energy, and effort that you give to one thing, the less you have to give to something that will bear fruit, or the less that you have to give to something that you want. And it could be a sort of sacrifice of the self in the way of like who a certain. I have not, Holly, but I saw it go up. I think I forgot. I can't remember. I know it popped up maybe when I was live or when somebody else was live or I was doing something and then I forgot. That's like I need to start using my watch later playlist. But when I use it, it's like sometimes the videos don't even pop up. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, it's like when you're in a situation that like forces you to be someone or something that you don't want to be because of what it pulls from you. It's like if you don't want to constantly be arguing with somebody, and it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna not. And that might be what causes, again, it feels like that might be what causes the abrupt change of season. But more than that, it feels like it just happens to coincide with something else that's already like happening. It does feel like there's a fair amount of challenge here, though, with the taking the plunge into an ice cold tank and the dissolution of the self, especially if like Five of Wands energy is all that you know. It reminds me, or it makes me think of like how if our experience with, I'm gonna try to like use a less potentially triggering example. It almost goes back to the thing yesterday, in the vein of like if something is all that you've experienced of a thing, then that's all you know of that thing, and all you know of that thing may not necessarily be all that there is to know of that thing. Um, so it's just like apples, right? Hey Shayna, how you doing? Like if all you know are red apples, right? And you've never seen like a green apple, for example. And so whenever someone says like, hey, do you like apples? Do you want an apple? And you're like, no, it's too sweet or whatever. It's like, well, there are non-sweet apples. And you're like, no, they're not. Like, what are you talking about? And then they give you a green apple. And green apples have, a different flavor profile. I think the reds are more sweet. The greens are um different. But the example, I feel like I can't necessarily go for another one that is it whatever. It feels like it's something like love, right? Like if all of the dynamics that you've had in your life with people who are supposed to love you, like if your dynamics with family aren't necessarily the healthiest, if all of your dynamics with like significant others weren't necessarily the healthiest, then it kind of gives you an idea of like what love is and what love looks like and how love shows up. And then like the taking the plunge, it feels like it's not necessarily being open to experiencing love. How do you like them apples? Nice. And then you're like, oh my gosh, green apples are amazing. I just don't like the red ones, right? Um, but it's like it's not necessarily like love specifically, but that's what it feels like. It feels like we have an idea of how something works or what something is supposed to be. And then in a different situation, it's almost like we get to experience the dissonance because of who and what we are in the space of who and what it could be. Which is again why it feels like the Knight of Wands is leaving the Five of Wands environment. And again, like with the Knight having a wand plus the five, it's like the only way to win the game is to just not play and to put your energy where you want it to go, to build towards things that you want to experience and what you actually want to desire. Um, and like with Two of Wands, Seven of Swords energy, it is kind of sort of a little bit again, it's like pulling away to go somewhere new. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Somebody, I think it was on Ream's Cancer reading, maybe. Somebody commented something. I don't even remember. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm actually going to look for that card. The bottom of the deck now is the Eight of Wands. See how fast things are. See how fast things get when you're like, okay, yeah, we're not going to do this. Oh my gosh, it's a white. Is that a white deer and a bird? Shout out to Miss Rini Healings. The Five of Pentacles is the card that came out. The Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, with the Five of Cups behind the Eight of Wands. At least you're comparing apples to apples. That's progress. Well, I think that's the thing, though. Like, the thing is that you are comparing apples to apples, but without knowing that green apples are apples and without knowing that the flavor profile of a green apple is different than a red apple, to that person, it would be akin to comparing apples and oranges, where it'd be like, there is no comparison. But in reality, there is a comparison. And that's why it feels like the word is falling flat, but the alignment is still there. It's just aligning to something greater. It's aligning to something higher. You just heard Remi's Cancer reading. You're rising, your intuition needs recognition. Oh. I didn't actually like watch the whole thing. I started it and I saw her wearing the hoodie that Rod made, the Low Vibe Tribe Elks Deer hoodie. And I was like, oh my gosh, that I left a comment and then like that was it. I don't even know what I did. I think I might have taken a nap. My head feels weird. My brain. But yeah, with the Eight of Wands and the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, it does feel like whoever chooses to remain in that Five of Wands energy, that's a lot of fives. And then there are four fives on the Three of Hearts. It was a 20 of fives. 5, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, 2. And the Two of Clubs is here. But yeah, it might be difficult though. And see, that's the thing though. It's like if somebody's like, "Are you really gonna like leave? You're just gonna do this?" It's like it's like okay, like am I supposed to just be miserable forever? Like I don't want to be miserable. I want to actually like do things. I want to explore. I want to expand my horizons. I want to see the better that life has to offer. And if that's not something that you want, and if that's not something that you choose, I don't necessarily feel that I have to make the same choice if I don't want to. Like, you're also free to leave your Five of Wands and like discover passion in a new way. There's something a little like low key toxic, but it feels like it's low key toxic because it hasn't necessarily experienced any different. Like, there's a difference between like not to give anyone whatever, but just to say, to note, there's a difference between someone who's toxic because like that's all they've experienced and so that's all they know. When it comes to like interaction, that's how they were exposed to it repeatedly. So in their brain, that's how, you know, interactions are supposed to go. And someone who's toxic, like intentionally for the sake and purpose of like whatever, right? But it feels like a breaking point of sorts. So that's not the Cheraclo, right? Was Cheraclo? I only saw like a piece of that video that Russ did. That was a video, right? Yeah. Was that when I think that was when he called in on Rob's live and talked about how Cheraclo question mark was an awakening through illness rather than an awakening through like heartbreak or something like that. Easy to understand like quantum physics. I have never heard that quote. I mean, in my world, it wouldn't even have to be quantum physics. It can be like basic physics. And I'm like, I get it, but I don't. Like when I hear the theory, it makes sense. But when I try to put it into practice, it's impossible. Get a different answer, 10 different answers doing the problem 7 different ways. And all of them are equally as wrong as the previous one. Oh, I don't miss physics, but I got through it. And this may not even be like, it feels like it's easiest to conceptualize it on a person interpersonal level, but it feels like there may be something bigger because like the way we live life, it's a relationship. The way we view and approach the world and the people in it and the environments and like everything. And it's like it's because of our views and because of our experiences that we perceive and interact the way we do. And it may be like time for the interaction as a whole to change, which feels very Aquarian. It feels very like Leo Aquarius axis, just in terms of like belonging, where Leo is like the middle of the solar system, the center of the solar system, and Aquarius is like that star all the way over there. And Taurus, Scorpio are fixed nodes. That actually came out. It was a bunch of fixed energy. And I was like, what's in Leo? There's nothing in Leo. Maybe that's where this Knight of Wands is heading. Um, Leo got that last year a few times. There was something about Leo needing to like rebalance the planets in its solar system because if you put bigger planets too close, it changes the gravitational dynamics. And it's like, it felt like if they're too close, then it actually like it shrinks the sun a little bit because of the gravitational effect on the plasma or whatever. That's not necessarily science, but that's what it felt like. It's like, when your bigger planets are further away, it allows the sun to expand a little bit. And then they lock in sort of like everything in between. If you move a big planet closer to the sun, we would probably be a moon of like Jupiter. Like most of the solar system would probably be a moon of like Jupiter, besides what Saturn and Uranus. Everything else is probably Jupiter's moon. The sun, and then it's like not necessarily binary star system type energy, um, but there was something about how if some things are too close, and like the 5 and the 6 of Wands, they're both Leo energy. That's what the second and third decan of Leo, which is the Sagittarius Aries influence. Um, what was I talking about? So that might be this. It's like if there are things that have too much gravity that you hold too close, it just due to natural forces, it causes a shrinking. Again, I don't know if the sun would literally shrink because of those gravitational forces, but that's what it's coming out as. But it feels like the sun just like ending up with the new solar system. I mean, because it's the abrupt change of season. Oh, that's all these fives. See, but this time Aquarius is missing. Well, I have the seven of spades, which would be the third decan of Aquarius. Because I got the five of cups, the five of wands, the five of pentacles, first decan of Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. Third decan of Aquarius, which would be Libran influence, where it's like pure Gemini, pure Scorpio, pure Taurus, pure Leo. The Libran influence on Aquarius being that balance. But it feels like there's room for us, like room for us to grow, which kind of sort of came out within the Son of Pentacles and the Father of Swords the last time on that like 3 hour live. Um, room for us to expand, right? And there is something interesting about this white deer because with the bird and with it being Eight of Wands energy, it feels like it's like about to take off, like it's about to fly, like it's in training to be one of Santa's reindeer or something. I don't know. See, this energy is so weird. It's weird. It's not atypical at all, but with the Five of Pentacles, it feels like it's an energy of something or someone, but let's say go with something, some energy that is almost like completely dependent upon another, but that doesn't like value that. It's like it can't nurture something itself, so it relies on something or someone else to nurture it for them, but then it's like it demeans them and it treats them like garbage. And then that's when like that purposeful toxicity comes in to like wear someone or something else away to the point where they like accept it. So again, it's very similar to the Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands. The Eight of Wands, it's like not gonna stay in the Five of Pentacles situation anymore. It's just gone. And again, it's like that completely changes the dynamic. So I guess that's what I got. Question mark. Embodying hope, a fount of truth, a tongue of light. Taking the plunge, dissolution of the self, integration and separation. So the dissolution of the self with the integration and separation, um, it is almost a rediscovering of oneself outside of those Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands situations. And it feels very like not to be understated, like how difficult something like this would be, type of energy. But also at the same time, it's like when you come out of it, how much almost like a renaissance, renewal, rebirth, how much energy like you would have to give to yourself and to invest that energy in places that return the investment on that energy. The Queen of Cups. Oh, that's who it is. Okay. It's not the Empress. Oof. Behind the Queen of Cups is the Tower. And behind that is the King of Wands, followed by the Magician. So there's like no air here, which is interesting. It's all, I mean, mostly fire and then water and some earth. The Queen of Cups. I thought it was like the Empress. She's the box art card. This tower is interesting though, because, and I just said there's no air. This tower is interesting because it doesn't feel like there's as much disaster or urgency as there usually is. Like there's a lightning bolt on the tower, but it feels like it doesn't actually strike it. Like it's not colored in, right? If you'll focus, there we go. Kind of. There you go. Now it won't focus back here. There we go. And so it feels more like a realization. And it feels like a question to self. It's just like when you wake up one day and you're like, how long am I going to keep doing this? And like something could happen, something could not. It's just like, feels like a nagging sensation. It almost reminds me of the box. It does remind me of the box from the Kim Cran's Archetypes, Wild Unknown. Um, you know what? I could pull them. I'm gonna pull them. Why not? We'll see. I know somebody gifted Remy the archetypes, but I can't remember if she's used them yet or not. I don't think she has. Well, I didn't see that cancer reading, so maybe she didn't. This is interesting, though. Ooh, that was. Oh, ooh, they're on the floor. Oof, I almost caught that one, but it's also on the floor. Give me a second to retrieve these. I see the mirror. Hold up. Ugh. Is it just these two? Are these three? Yeah, that seems right. So the mirror is the one that I almost caught. The temple, the village, and the healer. So we have two settings: the temple and the village. Number 41 and 39. Okay. And then the healer is number 25. So the aspect of self is the healer. We have the healer in the temple, the healer in the village, and then the object number 68 is the mirror. And then the moon is up there. And it's a full moon. Cancer is a water sign. Water is a reflective element, right? So, but it feels like the temple and the village are the same. And again, I feel like it almost goes back to the way that we view life and all of our interactions with it. Almost like there's a medicine that isn't necessarily working anymore. I'm not going to say the medicine never worked because it's not within my jurisdiction, question mark, to say what has and what hasn't worked. But with the snake, with there being three snakes on the healer, I think that's not Vishnu or Krishna, is it? I want to say it's Shiva, but one second. Let me get the book. Oh my gosh. 27 is 9. We got 39, 9, 68, 41. 68 and 41. That's 109. Let me go to 25 real quick. Oh, there was the healer. Somebody asking me what I want to eat? Yeah. Yep. One second. I feel like I'm becoming aware of how long these are. And I'm like, I don't necessarily want it to be this long. The wounded healer is not someone who was wounded and is now healed. It is someone who continues to courageously break open the self and ego as a means for deep integration. And the image of the serpent is eternally tied to healing and medicine. Both Western, the caduceus, and Eastern Kundalini study the serpent and its power. That is interesting. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. In Sanskrit, the word avidya means forgetting. Oh, it's like Leith in Greek. Maybe I should do that. I want to do it, but I'm so bad at like building spreads and stuff. I'll do it. And it is said that this is the source of all suffering and dis-ease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways, from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear. It is a multi layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin, much like the Ouroboros. Okay. And I didn't think about it at the time, but the spiral serpent is like literally the Ouroboros. Like that's what it means. And then Remy shared the clip of the Ouroboros, right? And she talked about the sea serpent, which is Ouroboros in configuration and shape in the animal spirits well unknown. But it's an Ouroboros that's released its tail. It's not actively biting its own tail in the animal spirit deck. Um, which is interesting. But I was gonna look. I think there. I thought she put it in the entry. I just opened right to it. I thought she put it in here. I can't remember if they're Shivas or if they are. Vishnu's. Let's see. Shiva's. I think they're Shiva's. Which is interesting because Shiva is the destroyer, right? But also the healer here. See, it feels like there's a call to reflect in some way, but it feels like a lot of times it's a message of reflection or introspection. It's hermit energy. But again, the last time we saw the hermit, it was with the lovers. So it's not a reflection, introspection that is solely the self. It's reflection and introspection that also accommodates for and accounts for the world outside of oneself, the universe outside of oneself, the people in it, the systems in it, and how those interactions go. It's like we're looking at interaction in this because that's where the healing happens. That's where the conflicts, it seems, take place. And it's funny, it said something about returning to return to, and that's the village. The village is like, we leave the village to explore the world, but the village grows because of the people who come back to the village. And I'll just read it. What number is that? 41? 42? Where does this say? Returning to the village is as important as leaving it. This can be thought of as a completion or an integration of what you learned out in the wild. But it feels like, it's, are we relearning? Are we healing? Are we learning out in the wild, first and foremost? With the temple being the village, it feels like, I don't know, it's just like the way we view the world in terms of like spirituality and theology. I don't know, it just feels restrictive. So it's very smoky mirror. But so now I gotta grab these cards. And instead of grabbing the smoky mirror or seeing what's before and after the smoky mirror, uh, I'll do it. I'll just do that. I don't know the number, so it'll take me a minute maybe to find this one. Who, the seer in reverse? Come on, the seer was the only card in reverse. Smoky mirror, where you at? Taming the wind is next to wind. That's interesting. I'm almost at the top of the deck. Okay. 13 and 3, which is interesting. The smoky mirror is 47, which is 11. The crow is 13, and then the other card was 3, the arrow. So, Raya, what's up? Son of Odin and jokes. I love it. How did I miss all that? I did not have the day off, but I got the day off. So, yeah, thank you. The crow and the arrow are around the smoky mirror. I saw your video. I literally just watched it before I went live. Now, if you ask me, my brain is like, what did I watch? I don't know. But I did see it. I watched it, right? Yeah. I remember, was that you that got the. No, that might have been Cindy. The Emperor and the Empress. I remember you singing. And you're like, why am I singing? I feel like it's in my brain. I just like, I can't think of it right now. But that's fine. The Crow and the Arrow for the Smoky Mirror. Wow. The arrow, this orb that the arrow is piercing, it looks like the heart of the crow. See this and this. So with the smoky mirror, it's like it's piercing the heart of the crow. But the energy, it's just, it's like, it almost feels like we're so focused on finding truth that we miss out on, it's like everything that you need to know, the universe will show you. But we can go like, or try to press so hard to go beyond the veil and to seek counsel from the Hierophant or to get a word from the High Priestess, that it's like we miss all that's being said around us. And that's why the temple is the village. Because the village card, it's about leaving to expand and to grow. And in this, I guess it's interesting because the only growth in this card happens outside of the triangle that represents the temple. It's like you can't live life in a temple and expect to know much of life outside of the temple. And so it feels like there's a lot of almost distorted reflective energy because we're trying to look at and view and see a world outside with a mentality inside the temple, inside the box. And that's actually the card that I went looking for. So I'm going to see what's before and after. Oh, the box is literally at the bottom of the deck. So there you go. Behind the box is the self in reverse. I guess that's the thing. Because I guess where I am right now, or just in general, I don't necessarily believe that every single thing that happens outside of me or every single person that I encounter is a reflection of me. And it feels like it's an energy of like not everything outside of you being you or an aspect of you in a way, as much as it is like it's like as you move through the world, there's an impact that you make. because you occupy space, other things can't occupy that space. And so it feels very this. It feels very this. But as it's moving, we're not, don't start, Rob. We're not gonna go there. But thank you. It's like as you move through the world, you can get an idea of who you are based upon how things move around you. It's almost like if there was somebody invisible and all you could see is their footprints in the sand, you would know where they're going. It's a treadle energy. But it's a treadle in a way of like, not like that's how we know we were here, that's how we know we were alive. But it's treadle in a way of like, because things have to be interacting with something, like for something to react means that it was stimulated. Eve. I don't know why I said that like that. I'm well. I'm better now. How are you? I looked up one of those Tom Petty songs. I can't remember if it was the Pisces one. And I was like, this is not the song that I thought it might have been. It's Tom Petty. So it's like, and it was like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers question mark. But I'm like, so wait, is Tom Petty not like one person? Is it the name of a band or something? I'm so like, I just don't even know. But it's fine. Hey, Steph. Oh, enjoy the moon dance. And the crow is the Hierophant in the Wild Unknown Tarot. I'm not gonna pull the Wild Unknown Tarot because I'm already like, oh yeah, the box was at the bottom of the deck. Um, as we move through the world, it's like there's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Okay, so Tom Petty is one of the people that was on the image, and the rest of the people were the Heartbreakers, like Josie and the Pussycats? Question mark. Like one of them was actually Josie, and it wasn't just like a random name. I don't listen to a lot of music. Okay. See, but again, I feel like it goes back to that Knight of Pentacles, Son of Pentacles energy with the Father of Swords yesterday or the day before, where it's like as we're living life, we're discovering who we are by the different situations that we encounter. We're discovering who we are, and we're also creating who we are at the same time. Um, and that's why it's almost like if you encounter a Five of Wands situation, then it's like, so at the end of the year, I was telling my journey buddy about all of my work woes, right? And she was like, I think it's just a matter of what you're willing to tolerate. And I was like, huh. And then this year opened up. It was what, day three into this year. And it was that question of like, what am I willing to tolerate? And I was like, not this. I was like, honestly, maybe I'm not a fit because I am not interested in this kind of environment. I'm not interested in working for somebody like this. Like, I'm not. I'll leave. It's not that big of a deal. I don't need this job that bad. Jim and the Holograms. Is there a new Jim movie? Because I feel like I just saw something about it today. Recently. Um, but maybe not. Or maybe she was on Dancing, the Masked Dancer, Masked Singer. Oh. After today, you're so stoked for 2022. Yeah. So wait, is that the new series, or is Virgo the only one that gets that? Um, but maybe that was the Knight of Wands with the Five of Wands again. It's like I'm not willing to tolerate this. Like, no, I don't want this. And it's because of that decision. Again, it's some weird interconnected, like it isn't necessarily solely because you're walking away, the universe is going to give you a whole new experience. It feels like the universe is already sort of queuing up new experiences, and your hour walking away happens to align with that. And so, what it does is it's like that's what makes the change even more abrupt because of that alignment. And it's like, oh, words falling flat. The Knight of Wands is about action. That's why there wasn't a lot of swords, because it's not about words, it's not about what's spoken, it's like what's felt, what's done, and how the world changes because of that, because of actions and feelings, not necessarily because of words, which is interesting because we're in a air epoch now. So, oh, okay. Well, I have absolutely no Virgo in my chart, but I'll have to watch anyway. Yeah, I had to. And then so like at first, because the situation was fresh. The situation was fresh, and I was like, you know what? Da 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 da. I did not leave my job, Dottie, but I was fully prepared to. Based on how that conversation went, I was fully prepared to. And I think they knew that. And it's like I was literally the only person in my department for 2 days last week. And the narrative that somebody is trying to spin, it's like it doesn't make sense for you to be telling this narrative, but also at the same time, like your actions and what you're saying aren't aligning. Because if things truly were what they were, you'd be doing more. And I'd honestly probably be doing less. Hello? But no, I didn't quit. I almost did. But ever since I had that conversation, things have changed. So sometimes you gotta do it. So yeah, I just like wrote my piece, and like when I was doing that I felt kind of bad because I didn't have time to work on what I needed to work on because I was doing everything else as I was the only person in my department trying to do everything. Um but then like yesterday or this morning, I guess I finished writing it and I was like, ooh, like this is a little scathing. But I'm at the same time, I'm like, it's the truth. So, and it's not my job to m- make certain decisions or whatever. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. She asked me at the end of the year, she was like, I think it's just like what you're willing to tolerate. And it came to be. So I said what I said, and so far there's been a change. And if things revert, then we'll see how long. But honestly, I might just start looking for something else, which kind of sucks because it's like it's almost very like Five of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. It's the people. The people would be what keep me there. Most of the people. And that's what I said. That's what I said too. I was like, you know what? I feel like I can do that. I feel like I can have a friendly environment and everything can be cool, except for with this one person. Because when things happens, like she's the one that makes things tense and weird and awkward. She's the one introducing conflict. She's the one doing all this. And I said that. And that's when I was like, if this is what it's gonna be, I'm not interested. And she was like, we'd rather you leave because you get a better opportunity, not because of like you're upset. And I was like, yeah, but anyway. Oh, you meant you're sorry I don't have any Virgo in my chart? I could use Virgo in my chart. Like, if y'all could see, if I panned this camera, you would know. But it's fine. My dad's a Virgo, and I got enough of him in me that I'm like quasi Virgo almost. Not really. But if I had to be Virgo, I could kind of be Virgo. Um, yeah. You feel like radical candor is great for the future? I mean, I don't know. I mean, y'all saw me on here as I was like talking about it and thinking about it, and because so from my perspective, from my side going into it, my whole narrative was like I don't want to give up. I don't want to back down from a challenge because I spent so much of my life running away because I was afraid that I might not be able to do something. And I was like, I don't want to do that. This is an opportunity for me to stay and to work out, work at doing whatever. But then here's this whole external factor that's in a way pushing me out. And that's why my friend was like, I think it's a question of what you're willing to tolerate. Because while there is a certain piece of the puzzle, while they're like part of the equation is very much like facing a fear instead of running away from it, another piece of that very same equation is like working in a not great environment under somebody who has their own insecurities and who just like takes them out on the people under them. I'm like, yeah, see, I can challenge myself in a lot of ways. I don't necessarily need this. So it did take some thought. Cause honestly, like what kept me there, I was like, I'll just put up with it, I'll just deal with it because I want to challenge myself. I want to rise to the occasion in this way. But at the same time, like she was right. Like, is it worth tolerating that? And I found out pretty quick that the answer was no. That decision was actually made by somebody else. That decision wasn't made by me. It was because the actions of another that I arrived at that point. So I'll give credit where credit is due. She did a good job. She's part of the lesson. I'm, I'm kidding. Kind of. Oh, look, the tree of life is still at the bottom of the deck. But I don't think no, wait, did I shuffle this? No, I didn't shuffle it. I just went looking for the smoky mirror. But with the tree of life being at the bottom of the deck, I feel like it's more of that energy. It's like the geese. Yeah. Maybe that's what the geese were like. Maybe that's why I was seeing geese like switch lanes. Like first it was one goose and then it was three geese. And why they've been like changing directions and stuff. Because there was a certain current and flow. And I had to sort of reach a point um where it was just a question. It's like, I can grow in many different ways. I don't necessarily whatever, but anyway. That was quick. Your phone is like, it's time to meditate. Oh my gosh, it's another 11. So the smoky mirror was a 4711. The 3811 just came out, the mystical shaman. The bottom of the deck is the council. Look at this 1111 energy. Like I watched that the last time you had the call-ins, Rod, when Russ called in, I watched that bit. And I got to go back and watch the rest because I think I saw Eve. I did see Eve. Um, this is so the smoky mirror was an 11. These are two more 11s. The drum is under the council. The drum reminds me of the hermit in the tarot apocalypsis. But anyway, it just turned on by itself. Ooh, that's that Mercury retrograde messing with your electronics. I'm like, who there? I'm like, leave me alone. Don't scare me. I'm kidding. Flow, number 20. The mystical shaman. The mystical shaman is interesting. Well, I feel like it goes back to the. I feel like it goes back to that energy of understanding reflections. And that's the thing with the mirror, too. Which is why it was the smoky mirror. Because it feels like. It feels like it's almost back to that high priestess energy with the dream that was like the box at the bottom of the deck. Oh my gosh. It's like trying to get us to see something outside of the box when we construct the box and all of our experiences construct the box. And it's like, how do you explain XYZ to somebody who doesn't even know, ABC or QRS or TUV? You know what I mean? And so with the mystical shaman, it feels like there's a knowing. I don't know how fully the mystical shaman is able to accommodate for it, but it feels like there's an understanding of the property of reflections or something like that. Right? At least it was meditation music. It could have been something else. Native flute with nature sounds. Oh, snap. And then the mystical shaman came out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I feel like I've seen that word lately, Holly. Maybe you posted it somewhere. I don't remember. I don't know. And even with the mirror, there's something about this. It's just partial. It's like it's these partial truths that we treat as gospel. And it's not that they're not, but there's more. But wait, there's more. And it's like, but wait, there's more, and you're already gone. You're like, oh, okay, got it. It's like, I don't know. The wind is howling. Is it snowing? Oh, snap. Yours would be like Pantera or something. That's funny. What would mine be? Maybe Imogen Heap. Oh, that's way too many. The Father. Oof. No. Sorry. Oh, gosh. There we go. How many cards is this? Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. The bottom of the deck is the Mentor, which is almost very upper world energy. Oh, it's been over an hour. The River, the Judge in reverse, and the Dead End upright. Well, I guess the River is in reverse too. The River is number 34. The Judge is number 14. And the Dead End is number 40. 34, 14, and 40. I prefer Metallica. Oh, snap. You're in Florida and it's 43 degrees. Oof. 43. It was like so. It was the last concert you ever saw. What? I've never technically been to a concert. The only concerts I went to were like at my church or at somebody else's church. So I did go to a Brian Wilson concert one time, I think, but I like sang in it with a group. So I honestly don't even remember it. I know it happened. I don't remember it. Like I know I went to the high school auditorium to watch a magic show with my mom one time. Don't remember. I think I actually fell asleep though, so that's why I don't remember that. But anyway, Master of Puppets. Rob's picking up the guitar. Confirmed. Rob playing guitar live on the next live. Confirmed. Come learn guitar with me. That's what I was saying. I was like, I'm trying to pull on that Aries impulsivity, but it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. New moon guitar. The river, the judge, and the dead end. The mentor is number 6. Have you really? Wow. Link it or just send it to me. I want to see. The river, the judge, and the dead end. Yeah, you did say that. I remember you said to like schedule, was it the Underworld Rivers video? Maybe I'll do like river by river. The Leith is like really jumping out to me. And Phlegathon because I like saying Phlegathon. Um oh, it was the Nine Realms one. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. It feels like the judge is the dead end for the river because the judge it sees things too black and white. And the river feels like life. I don't know if I can play death metal though. You don't know until you try, right? There's actually something like super cosmic about this river. Like all of this. See, the judge is the dead end. Because you see up here, the judge is like, stop. And then the middle of the dead end is because it stopped. There's something it's perspective, it's view. It's like we don't it's almost like we don't know enough to make certain judgments on the world, on spirit, on anything. Because so much of what we experience or so much of what we believe is often based in our like singular experience. And it can be very like, I'm not, it's like, well, that's never happened for me. Therefore, it's not true. Almost again, going back to love. And it's like when we grow up with a certain view of what something is, then that's all we know it to be. And whenever we engage in those spaces, we engage in the ways that we more or less witnessed or experienced. And again, it's like that's what it feels like that's what makes the mystical shaman so mystical, question mark, is that with that reflection, the mystical shaman knows the limits of its knowing, and it's also open to expanding beyond. And maybe that's why the river is almost like bleeding out, where the box would keep everything confined. Like the river starting to bleed out into other things, and it's like open to expanding. So I don't know. Who knows? Thank you, Eve. I don't know what's going on with the Cancer moon. I wouldn't have even known it was a Cancer moon today if I didn't see like people uploading videos. I used to be like so on top of the transits, and now I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I remember 2020, or was it 2019? I think it was more 2020. No, it was 2019 because 2020 I was here. Hello, that was last year. No, 2020 was 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know what time it is, clearly. It was 2019. Like Cancer moons, I would be crying. So emotional. Pisces moon, I would also cry, but I feel like more often than not, like Pisces moon was a good cry. Cancer moon was just like emotions. And then like I would literally be somewhere. I was literally in the dining court one day and I started to tear up and I was eating by myself. And I didn't want people to think that I was crying because I was eating by myself, so I left. And then I checked the transits and the moon was in Pisces. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I don't randomly get super emotional for no reason. But now I feel like the water moons don't hit me like they used to. So I don't know. That's why I'm like, yeah, that's true. That is a question for someone with crystals. Can anyone answer evening skies reflections? I don't know if I should leave my crystal out in this cold, question mark. I am so crystal novice. I was gonna say ask Eve. She's a Virgo. Ooh. So two cards came out. The Six of Hearts and the Four of Clubs. Maximizing or minimizing, limitation or support, look to the root. Understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle in a sacred vessel is the Four of Clubs. 56, 10, 6, 7, 3, and 2, 45, 2, 1, 2, and 4. I didn't even really get a good shuffle. Maximizing or minimizing, limitation or support, look to the root. Understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle, a sacred vessel, prophetic dreams, inspired action, tapping into the other side. Black Joker on the bottom of the deck. See, the thing about maximizing or minimizing, limitation or support, look to the root, it's very much an energy that can go either way. We look to the root because it's within us, whether or not it's like when we're presented an option, we have the choice of whether or not we'll take it. So if things are like maximizing and going toward support or minimizing and going toward limitation or whatever combination, and maximizing isn't always good, minimizing isn't always bad. It depends on what we're looking at. But it's like the answer is found within you. Now that is very more traditional hermit energy. Understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle in a sacred vessel. Who is 56? Let me see. I want to build spreads again. But last time I couldn't get my thing to turn on. 56 is the seven of air. The seven of air is the seven of swords again, or the seven of spades. So the seven of air is the seven of zones. Seven is, it feels like seven is a spiritual number because at the six, it's like, we get into a flow, we get into a harmony, we get into a balance. But at the seven, we realize that there's even more than we knew before. And it's not necessarily starting all over, but seven is the step before the path to mastery. Right. So the seven of zones, it's about like pushing beyond. Oh, I'm like, so it's not that I don't connect to crystals, but I'm very much a like, let me get to the vibration, let me get to the energy type of person. Because I saw something and somebody was like, oh, get this crystal and it'll help you do this or do that. And I was like, well, I can't necessarily get that crystal, but I can try to find the frequency, vibration, the feeling, the whatever. So that's why I don't know, and I just don't really, it's not that I don't connect to them. I've just never really had well, I've had an interest, but it's like a waning interest. That's fine. I have a few. Sometimes when I'm holding them, I'm like, ooh, but that's pretty much the limit and extent. So with the seven of zones, this is interesting because it feels like, what's 40? It feels like the water and the fire are already ahead. And maybe the water and the fire are creating a steam. You feel like you get the most out of the ones that are gifts. Like most of the, well, not most. I was gifted a set with 4 calcites and the chakra stones. I like amethyst, but that's because it's my birthstone. um, so it feels like the water and the fire are producing some kind of steam that is leading the air, but it feels like when it comes to earth, it's lagging behind. Yeah, I think I've heard some people talk about Moldavite. I have heard some people talk about Moldavite. Prophetic dreams, inspired action, tapping into the other side. What am I trying to say? Matthew, hello. Oof. Moldavite is the gateway crystal. I'm just playing. Maybe I should just like quit. It really is. Because the seven, so zones precede the realms, almost like how it pretty much triggered a dark night, and I've worn it ever since. See, that's the dark Virgo. I'm just playing. Maybe it's just, it feels like it's almost like that the Daughter of Pentacles in the Six of Swords, the rainbow that went over the head, but in the Daughter of Pentacles there was almost a hole in the rainbow because of the experience. It's like it would congeal all of the colors and it would clot the rainbow in the Daughter of Pentacles. And it's interesting because before it was like words fall flat, but it feels like a sacred vessel. Okay, that makes sense. Because it feels like it's a thought. It's a thought that gathers. It's not a thought that gathers momentum. It's a thought that I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I've heard that like y'all say like Moldavite like packs a punch. Like people are like mold so, approach Moldavite in the right way, I guess. Listen to the people who have experienced Moldavite. Brace yourself, Steph. I'm just playing. It feels like an idea that precedes a thing. But what makes this difficult is it feels like it's an idea that has to get so heavy that it drops down. It's like the Fata Morgana dropping down. Um, but I guess conversely, if the idea can't get heavier, we could get lighter to meet it. Understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle in the sacred vessel. It feels like that's why it's the sacred vessel. Because it's like something about that energy, it's capable of like holding and pulling in and filling itself. It's almost like the jug that Aquarius bears. It's like filling it up. I don't know if it's necessarily being filled up with water or if it's being filled up with earth. Oof. Yeah, Moldavite sounds intense. I'm like, oof. I should because I have a friend that's into crystals. I'm like, you got Moldavite, girl? Have you experienced Moldavite? Oh no! Oh, 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 my mouse. See, but maybe that's the thing. Because it feels like things are aligning at the same time. And maybe the more things line up to it, the more gravity it has, or the easier it is to come to pass, to come to be. But again, it feels like words fall flat. So it's more about action. I mean, words, I guess, also hold some importance, but like action and feeling are going to be two big drivers because it's the water and the fire. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh my cards. It's the water and the fire that lead to the generation of air. And it feels like it's about creating a new wind. Either creating a new wind or allowing space for a new wind. And to allow space for a new wind, then there is earth that has to shift and move, or else you'll get like in Hawaii question mark and other places where you get like winds that come and they blow up against the side of a mountain, and so they create their own little um, atmospheric current thingies. Well, this is a lot. I'm not taking these. And they all fell on the floor, and they're lying on the cold hard ground. Oh gosh. This video is not sponsored. I do not own the copyrights to that song. Okay. Lord of the Rings or Lord of the Moldavite. You pulled the rainbow and the hunter. Oops. Hunter today. Is the hunter the one with the rainbow on the face? Or no, that's not the sorceress. Or is it the sorceress? The sorcerer. Which one is the one with the no, the hunter isn't the one with the rainbow on the face, right? Right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't you know, that either. What is this? Okay, let's try it. Oh, that was pretty quick. It came out face down. So from the Lion Strider, the Ace of Pentacles. With the bottom of the deck being a title card. And the Knight of Pentacles is behind the title card. Which is interesting because it's like the Knight of Pentacles is heading into something that is almost unknowable. And the Devil is behind the Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles, it's leaving Devil energy and it's heading for the unknown. And the Knight of Wands is behind that Devil energy. Is it the Sorcerer? In the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards, because there's one of the cards where it's like it has the rainbow on the face and it's like passing through. See, that was the thing about air. Air precedes earth. It's like the realm, the earth is the physical manifestation, the congelation question mark of air energy. And it's Ace of Pentacles, which is a whole new earth energy. Almost because with it being like Seven of Swords, because of everything that it pulls out and then it then puts into something else. I don't know what this is, but it almost feels like something that it's like we would have to open our minds to. Am I gonna pull what's before and after the sorcerer? I mean, I wasn't. I wasn't gonna, but I can. I already shuffled that deck. Let's see. We'll go. We'll see. We'll see. So, the sorcerer. There's the rainbow. Ooh, the luminous warrior in the rainbow. Is it going to be at the top of the deck? It is the sorcerer. Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. So in front of the sorcerer is 35. Behind the sorcerer is 53. Speaking of, mirrors and smoky mirrors and things of that nature, reflections. So the sorcerer is actually between the sun and the medicine wheel. But in this, it's almost like the sun is the medicine wheel. The sorcerer is the one that's getting the rainbow to the face. So it's the medicine wheel going to the face of the sorcerer, and then it comes out as the sun, which is interesting. All right, Eve, what does this mean? What does that mean? And the sorcerer is a 48-12. 35-8, 53-8, 48. Your predilection to black pearl jewelry. The hunter has the bear on it. Oh my gosh. Look. The serpent is on the medicine wheel. That's the thing that's alive now. I don't remember the colors. I think the colors for different medicine wheels can be different. But I think medicine wheels always have the color black. Like they always feature the color black, but the other colors can change. I think. I think I saw that. But I'm not sure. It might be Holly. Oh, like um heliocentrically. Where's my phone? I literally just had it. Hey Siri, where are you?
I'm over here.
Not you. Not iPad Siri. I need phone Siri. Oh, it's right here. I got it. Mm-hmm. Solar system for now. Yeah. So, according to this, Mercury is almost there. I guess Mercury would be moving back though if it's retrograde. And then Earth is, or the moon is on the other side, but you see that? I don't know if it'll zoom in. Maybe not. Yes, more or less. I think so. Opal is amazing for light work. Ooh. I saw something about opals a while ago. What's interesting though is that the hummingbird and the eagle and the medicine wheel are both facing are both forcing. I don't know. It's Mercury retrograde. My Mercury is natally retrograde, so maybe that's why I'm like. They're both facing the sorceress, the eagle and the hummingbird. The hummingbird is actually, I believe, on the rainbow card or some kind of bird. Yes, I love Little Nicky when he's like, "Release the awesome," and it's like a huge bucket of Popeye's chicken. And he's like, "Put it in your mouth and let it slide down your throat hole." Not you, not you. And there's the one who was like about to eat the bunny. See, that's why. Oh, about to eat the bunny, and there's the Ace of Pentacles. Oof. That's why bunny rabbits. It's like what? My hair moves, and I'm like obsessed. Sometimes I just do this. It's fine. The medicine wheel, the sorcerer, and the sun. I feel like there is a little bit of see with the sorcerer as compared to like a wizard or a witch. Like sorcerer for me implies, and I'm about to do that thing that I'm like, maybe we should stop doing this right now. But the sorcerer implies something that is like studied, whereas like wizard or witch implies something that's more natural. And so maybe with the medicine wheel, it feels like it's like broadening the scope of the sorcerer. Are we going gamma? Is that gamma? I need to look at the light spectrum because so up here, I think like it might be microwaves or X. I think X rays are down here, and then it's like UV up here. If this is UV and the sun is here, that's interesting. But there is actually light that would pass through the sorcerer's third eye, but it's light outside of the visible spectrum. So it's light outside of what the natural eye can see on Earth. But I gotta look at that. It might be UV. Light spectrum. I don't know how to spell. Yes. Nope. I got it wrong. X-rays are next to. Oh yeah. UV, ultraviolet. Okay, work. I didn't get it wrong. Not completely. Can I open this image, please? There we go. Hold up, wait. Yeah. So it's going this way. Can you see that? So after purple, it goes ultraviolet and then X-rays and then gamma. So it's getting to that like ultraviolet, X-ray energy, which is interesting. It looks like a parrot. Oh yeah, it does. Isn't that what they did to Hulk? If so, I'm down. Ooh, Hulk is green like Moldavite and packs a punch. There we go. Full circle. Full circle. It goes back to the Hulk and Moldavite. That's see the Hulk. That's you on Moldavite. But it's interesting. So the sorcerer is facing the medicine wheel, right? And in the sun card, what's interesting is the person is actually looking away from the sun, question mark, or the person becomes the sun. I'm like, wait. Well, it is a mirror, 5335. See, but the 35, it's a change that's triggered, inspired by a catalysis in spirit. So it's like there's a shift in the energy that through the energy working out, it causes almost like tower, but not necessarily, doesn't necessarily have to be tower. It's like the energy is shifting and changing. So I'm going to shift and change because the energy is changing. And then because we shift and change, it changes it into a 53, where now we can catalyze further shifts and changes in the energy. So it's very like mutual, both sides contribute. It's like, sometimes we're catalyzed into action and sometimes we catalyze action. Um, but yeah, so she's got either ultraviolet or X-rays on her third eye, or maybe even the gamma rays. I don't know. But it feels like it's like expanding the sorceress, like the sorcerer is being opened up to see more, and that's what the medicine wheel is doing for the sorcerer, to help it actually integrate or be able to like look at the sun and not be damaged by it. I'm not telling anybody to go out and look at the sun. I know sun gazing is a thing. I think you're supposed to do it when the sun is like setting or rising, because that's when it's like, as the light from the sun passes through the atmosphere, it's not like full on ultraviolet light or whatever. It's like you get more of the reds or oranges. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's designed to use infrared light to look into the past. Oof. See, that's where you lose me. Or that's beyond me. But if oh wait, oh snap. What are these other animals though? That's the eagle. That's like a cheetah, a snake, a hummingbird. Maybe those are the four different directions. And it's interesting that they're not fixed signs. It's not interesting. Yeah, that's why I'm like, oof. It's a third eye mirror to escape the matrix. The sun? Sun gazing or the hummingbird, the sorcerer, the medicine wheel, and the sorcerer. Either way, something is being worked on in and through the sorcerer to get it to see the bigger picture. It's the sun, it's not the moon. Yeah. See, I just don't want to like be like I am encouraging this, because then if somebody's like, I went out and I looked at the sun and now I got eye problems, it's like I'm not encouraging anybody. Like you're an adult, and if you're not an adult, you shouldn't be watching me. I mark these videos as not for children. You make your own choices and decisions. But anyway, the sorcerer's third eye is the mirror to escape the matrix. There is like this big old sun behind the sorcerer too. The healer came out before. Otherwise, you end up like Stevie. When I was younger, I did used to like to stare at the sun. Because you wanted glasses, you stared at the sun. I was wearing glasses and staring at the sun. And all your cars get reversed. See, Matthew and Eve, I think y'all are on a similar vein. Yeah, it wasn't wasn't mine either. Everybody was like, "Oh, if you stare at the sun, then like you'll go blind." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Is it because I used to stare at the sun as a child?" Like, if you aren't supposed to stare at the sun, then why is it so shiny? You know what I mean? Why is it so bright if you're not supposed to stare at it? Oh, oh, okay, that makes sense. I think I get this because it hurts. See, it doesn't hurt that bad though. That's the giveaway. You shouldn't do that. It is like staring up at the sun. You're giving away your eyesight and your eye health. You're a moon child. I was born at 8:59 a.m. So I'm a morning baby, even though I'm a night owl. You never liked how it stained your eyes. I didn't necessarily like it, but I didn't necessarily mind it either. I guess. I don't know. Actually, I looked at. I'll pull them because I saw these earlier today, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't used these in a while. I'll use them." I should have pulled it the other day when I was using the Tarot of Magical Correspondences. We'll just see. Maybe Rob can gaze into the sun and then tell us what's there. Oh, remember when you pulled that time card for me, Rob? A few days, well, or a week after that, there was this clock at work that stopped working. And then your eyes are like, no, dog, don't do that. My eyes are like, ooh, what's happening? Let's do it again. Because I guess my thing, it was like when you stare at the sun, I don't know, it's like it became, because it's like when the sun is just in the sky, it's so bright, you can't really see like where the sun is all the time. But if you stare at it, you can start to see like the outline of it. And it's like, oh, that's the sun. That was my fascination with it. Seeing the sun like come into view instead of it just being the source of all this light. But yeah, there was a clock at work that wouldn't work when it was upright on the wall, but for whatever reason, when I laid it down, it would work. And then I put it back on the wall because I was like, oh, I guess it works now, and it stopped working. So I have to get a new battery in order to have it work upright. So I just want one of these cards to put on top of this, please. I haven't used this deck in a minute. You're ultralight sensitive? What? Oh, snap. There we go. You sneeze in sunlight? I don't. I'm not one of those people. And then some people, because I've seen it on lists, it's like if you want to stop yourself from sneezing, stare at a bright light. Some people are like photosensitive or. It's the Scorpio in you, Rob. Oh, Wings of Paper. So I pulled out the Angelarium Oracle of Emanations deck, and the card that came out is Raziel, Angel of Memories. Mysteries. Angel of Mysteries. I read it as Angel of Memories for some reason. And then I was like, oh, memories. That's like to return. It was the healer. Raziel, Angel of Mysteries. And the bottom of the deck is Fanuel, Angel of Truth. And then under the Angel of Truth is the Angel of Silence. So, mysteries, truth, and silence. I have a card. It's what is it? Understanding. Is it tapping into the sea of all creation, understanding what predates all and things that must remain in the dark? It might be. It might not be. You get migraines really easily. Oof. Holly. Oh yeah, that makes sense. 3:30 a.m. Oof. You're an early morning baby. The Angel of Mysteries and the Angel of Truth, it's an interesting combination though. For the part of the light spectrum that is above the visible spectrum to be on the third eye in the sorcerer, it also feels like filling a gap, maybe filling a gap in understanding. But it's maybe it's like if it's not on the visible spectrum, it's something that has to be experienced. It's not something that can be seen. And because it can't be seen, it can't necessarily be witnessed in certain types of ways that we witness things. But again, it might also be that energy. It's like if something is moving in a certain way, it's like it's reacting to something. So even if you can't see what it's reacting to, if you can observe its movements, you can make inferences based on the thing. You are the thing as you move through the world. Again, going to the self that was in reverse under whatever that other card was. It's like as we move through the world and as we feel the world sort of move around us, we can get um, an idea of what we look like beyond what sight will tell. It's like I remember that question. The card came out: a game of charades, a day with no mirrors. And it's like, how do you see yourself if there are no mirrors? How can you see yourself if you can't see yourself? Like, what is your image of yourself if you can't see what you look like? If there is no mirror, if there is no one to tell you what you look like, how do you know what you look like? You know what I mean? Interesting. I don't know. It's been 2 hours. Oh my gosh. I wasn't supposed to be on here that long. Eve, I was ready to go. I was ready to shut this down. You got another pair underneath like a true gangster. Excuse me. You might need those eclipse glasses. The glass is so dark that the only thing you can see is the sun. You're fine. You're fine. I think I'm getting hungry again. What? Matthew has a channel. What? Yeah, Steph started her channel. I mean, you could always do baby steps, you know? Hold up, I might have to go to subscribe to you. A new channel, but wasn't able to find it. Twittyversing. I can actually see if I can find it and post it. Or if, yeah, I'll see if I can find it and post it real quick. She uploaded a video of the full moon. Here it is. That should hopefully take you where you want to go. Angel of Mysteries. I guess I should read them. I'll let Reese read the Angel of Mysteries. See, now I want to pull the Archangel Tarot. Now I want to pull the Archangel Tarot. I do have the Archangel Power cards. I meant to say the SKT. Raziel, Angel of Mysteries, the Keeper, the Speaker of Truth. All knowledge is pressed within the binding of his book. Raziel stands at the foot of the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life was at the bottom of the deck. On the, is it still there? It shouldn't still be there. No, the Council is at the bottom of the deck now. Anyway, and observes all of creation, ever the diligent witness, forever transcribing the whole of creation. The book is passed to Enoch through his journey into the tree of life. There are some things we simply cannot know. Such is the precious narrative of life. We can know the parts of the play, but not the story's end. Secrets and hidden endings keep the performance alight and dancing through the universe. Excuse me. Raziel wrapped on high, our ever-present observer, we dream and fill Raziel's book of mysteries. Our breath turns its pages. Exhale. Signs, a book, a mask, and codes. There you go. Mirrored shades. Oof. I had these like real thick glasses, and if I looked a certain way, they would like reflect light. And then, like when I first got them, I would like try to blind people. It's fine. Oh, boiled eggs! Like, yes, please. Actually, I kind of want an egg now. Excuse me. Bet the Angel of Mysteries worse. It's to hide his eyes. The eyes give it away. It's like, no, don't look over there. It's like when you ask someone a question and then their eyes immediately go to the thing. That's why he has to wear sunglasses so you don't see. I feel like I gotta shuffle this deck again. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. The arrow. The giveaway. Excuse me. Speaking of the giveaway, here comes the sun. Do do do. The sun going on top of the giveaway. Love it. All right. Depending on what my settings are. Why is this? The mystical shaman was face up. Oof. I was like, why is this card face up? Okay. Final card from the mystical shaman oracle cards, please. Oof, there we go. No, it's like my least favorite card in this deck. Ooh. So the spiral came out with the middle world. They dropped out. Bottom of the deck is the arrow. There's the arrow again. They do. Maybe it's a sign. It's like the sacrifice. You have to give away your vision to experience the truth of the sun. Excuse me. Oh, I got you, Steph. I just can't get you out of my head. I don't know what that popped into my mind. That is Steph. Hopefully. Gotta throw an eye in the mirror as well, exactly. Or both eyes. You know, if you throw both eyes into the well, you see everything. We see how one eye worked out for Odin fairly well for the most part until, it didn't. Okay. So, excuse me, all of the cards are put away. Thank you all for being here for whatever this was or is. Yeah, I just posted the link stuff. Um, oh my gosh, it's like 10 o'clock. I don't know. I know there was a bad guy that collected eyes in Naruto. And then you find out he had a whole bunch of eyes. I was like, oof. Wasn't great, but Yeah. I know I saw it, but I don't really remember it. I think I saw it with my dad, maybe. I kind of want to watch him or rewatch him. It has that guy in it that's not Keanu Reeves. Is that it? Yeah. All right. The Spiral is your favorite card? Well, there's a card for everybody. Did I even read it? No, I don't think I did. It's fine. The Spiral in Middle World. See, the thing about the Spiral in the Middle World with the arrow at the bottom of the deck, it feels like the bubble that is around the Middle World is gonna pop. and the spiral is gonna almost like unwind or begin to unwind. But that's, DNA getting ready for transcription or translation or replication or whatever. When the spiral with the helicases, when it opens up. And that's what, like, East to me, it feels very like DNA that is like it's like in the non-chromosome form. And so it's ready to be interacted with. Because when it's coiled up, certain things aren't as accessible. You'll keep an eye out for it. I don't know the dude's name, but I trust you. I trust you that it's Brandon Lee. What, the yawn? Did I yawn? Is the yawn contagious? It did kind of sort of feel like we don't necessarily want to spiral out of control or like go too far down the rabbit hole maybe. Um as things unravel. Um but yeah. So I hope you all have a good whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that any pathway, bridgeway, exit way, turning point that you sort of need, you find. And whatever courage or bravery or openness or willingness or acceptance that you need to go down that path, you find. And whatever you need to um, get out of whatever situation you find yourself in, you also find. So, thank you all for being here. Have an excellent night, day, evening, whatever, whenever, really. I don't know where you are in the world. It could be 5 o'clock in the afternoon when you're watching this. Who knows? I don't know. All right, bye.